All right.
Another Friday podcast. Today, we're bringing on Emma Elliot.
Yes, I'm here.
With Eternal.
Yep.
And we're excited for this one. We were supposed to do it a couple weeks ago. Just didn't work out. Emma, tell us a little bit about what you do. So you do home staging and
I do
marketing.
So I do sales and marketing and home staging. I actually launched it like July 7th, I think. But I started working on it in the month of June. I always knew I just wanted to start my own business. I didn't really know what that was going to look like at first, but one day it just came over me and I was like, let's just do it. And I think that's there's just so many people, especially in today's age, where I'm like, more people are starting businesses or becoming real estate agents or even investing in property to make, extra money and that passive income. And I think it's inspiring. I feel like more people are, waking up and wanting to do something that will create more freedom with their time as well. And I think that's amazing. And that's just what I knew I wanted to do. So Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point of like having control over your own life, right? So I've been talking to a lot of people recently where they might be working in the trades or they might be working for a company, but then they'll get laid off. And then it's like, and then they're like, oh, I thought I was safe. I thought I had this like secure income coming in. And then now they're like stressing out going, well, geez, if what I'm going to do isn't going to be guaranteed, then it's like you having the gumption to go into business to create to create your own sense of security. Yeah. Even though it's an uncertain thing, you can start to create certainty by actually just going in and putting everything that you have into it. Yeah. It is it's
a risk.
It's a risk for sure, yeah.
But you never know until you take that step, right? So
now here's a quote from Jim Carrey, which is super cool because everything's a risk, right? Yeah. So Jim Carrey talks about his father, I think, who was a teacher. Yeah. And his dad loved, or I don't know if he loved teaching, but I think he always wanted to be I think his dad wanted to be a comedian or be an actor. And his father stayed teaching because it was safe. About 20 years in, his dad lost his job and they went broke as a family. And that's at that moment Jim Carrey realized if you can fail at what you don't want to do, why not try to do what you want?
Yeah.
So true.
So true.
I wish more people I wish I was taught that when I was younger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not at all. Would just go to work 9 to 5. Yeah. I wish I had you can't look back now, so it doesn't matter. But that's awesome, Emma, that you did that. And you just came here, so you were living... How long were you living in Halifax for? You're from here, St. John.
I'm from here. I think I moved about 5 years ago. I moved when I was 18. I'll be 23 in March, so yeah.
And so you were just there about 5 years?
Yes, yeah. And so I started going to school, actually, at NASCAD University. I'm a creative. I like to paint and draw, and that's why I went there. I actually went there to do fashion and textiles because I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer. But I realized I just wanted to be in the design space, and that's where marketing kind of came in because I love to have, I like social media first and foremost. I like to run social media. I like to run my own. And I just thought, even working with Canva and being able to design, posts and all of that, it's fun to me. And I like to meet with clients and understand their business goals, their social media goals, where they want their business to go someday. And I like to contribute to that and be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting skill to have as well, to bring somebody's vision to life.
Yeah.
So it's to be able to bring somebody's artistic kind of view or what they want and then create the art for that. That's a certain skill set.
Yes.
That's definitely not for everybody.
That's why I pay him to do it.
It's a certain skill set. Because I know even for myself, it's tricky to figure out what I want to do for my marketing. And I couldn't imagine trying to manage that from multiple different people. It's and there's so many people that don't even know where to start with marketing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said with Canva, and like Canva's a great tool. I love the cat. That's my favorite cat there. That cat reminds me of the grumpy grumpy cat meme.
She just made the podcast. That's Maya.
Aww.
Maya.
So cute.
But yeah, so I think it's a unbelievable skill to be able to kind of like bring other people's artistic views to life.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, is people, they know what they want. I love the clients that will sit me down and be like, okay, this is exactly what I want,
right.
but they just don't know how to
put it all together,
bring it to life. And it's my job to go and understand it and then be like, okay, so this is what we need to do moving forward, and kind of putting everything together, create the strategic plan and put it in place. And yeah, I just think it's really fun. It shows you that you need to be really good with time management as well, because that's another thing.
Right.
Yeah, we've been kind of helping each other. Like we're real serious about that now, and I've been kind of trying to help Emma a little bit with that as well. We kind of learn from each other. It's good. So since you moved back to St. John, are you liking it, or how do you like? That's a big. I know it's not that far away, but it's a Halifax to St. John. It's a huge. Two totally different cities.
It really is. I loved Halifax, and I really saw my life being there at one point for like the long haul. But I think moving back, it was definitely scary for me, but I knew it needed to happen. And it was probably one of the best decisions that I made. I never thought I would be back, but sometimes life happens and it just brings you back. I think everything happens for a reason as well.
100%. 100%.
So you can't, be hard on yourself and let it stop you. You have to use it as motivation. So
that's so true. That's so true. So coming from the big city, coming from Halifax, I feel like you would learn so much, because in that larger pool of people, there's going to be a much more diverse skill set of people that you could probably talk to this stuff about. Like, because I notice, like, even just by seeing what you're doing with your social media, it's almost like a crisp, cleaner version of like what a lot of people have going on here.
Yeah.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as a part of that, from being in the big city and learning and seeing how all these like larger, let's say, fish in a larger fish tank, seeing how they operate. And I find that's important for people to have perspective on how to be able to be different and be better instead of just comparing in a small city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I find it's not so much like more, like you said, more simple or polished or clean, and it's not what other people are doing here. I think it's all part of who you are and your brand and how you want to portray yourself. There is people in Halifax that, they all have their different sense of style and how they run their business and what works for them. But being in Halifax and being around different people and going to different networking events, you do learn a lot, and everyone's different in that sense.
That's awesome. So that's a huge experience for you. You completely did a 180, I guess, over the last year, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't change. I really wouldn't change anything. I am someone that just believes like everyone has their own path, their own story. And even when you think you're taking a huge step back, it could be, life just redirecting you and where you need to be, where you need to go.
100%.
Yeah. And
100%.
Being in Halifax too, I noticed it is very hard, especially with the business that I'm in. It's hard to get the clients or get people to even really take you seriously, because there's so much in a bigger city. There's more people doing it, I guess, where if you come back, so where I came back home, it was better for me to build almost like a clientele here, because people are able to take that chance on you. And it's also word of mouth as well, where you're in a smaller city, which is very important.
And you still have clients in Halifax too, right?
I do, yeah.
Most stuff you can do virtually.
Yes, exactly.
So you could have a client anywhere. So
yeah, and what's nice too is I like to at least once a month do a content day with my clients, where it's like you go with them, you spend a day with them, you get all the content done, and then you're able to work with that for the next month, right? So I think those are important to schedule in for sure.
So for everyone out there, pretty much all of my social media, Emma looks after it, my Instagram, Facebook. I just got to a point I couldn't take care of it, and it was almost, it just didn't make sense for me to spend time on that, right?
Yeah.
So, but it was hard to let that go because I mean I was never that great at it and I wasn't consistent at it. But it's hard to let, when you're a business owner, to get somebody else to do your stuff for you. It's hard to let go, right?
Yes.
Because you, as every entrepreneur, you have like control issues, I guess, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. So
I know, and you want everything a certain way as well.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that, because you are your own person and your brand is you, so you want to make sure that people are still feeling that within your social media. So it is hard to let go and let somebody else completely take over.
I don't now, though. I don't worry. We have like, you build that trust, right? So
Yeah.
now I don't worry. I'm just like, yeah, no, I know it'll get done. So
Yes,
it's like,
and
which is great.
it's always rocky the first 2 months working with somebody, because you're really trying to tweak things or change things, or they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, this is not working, or you notice things aren't working. But it just takes time to build that flow of like, okay, what's the branding colors, what's working? Is it the reels? Is it the post, the educational post? And it just takes some time to get on that path.
Right.
And then everything just kind of flows from there.
Oh, sorry, go ahead,
Do you
Brandon.
dive deep into the analytics?
Sometimes, yeah. Especially with reels, I like to see like, what's doing good, what's not, what's getting the most views.
Watch time.
Yeah.
I'm big on the analytics.
Bryson. That's my
Yeah.
4-year-old son's name. Both start with B. Brandon's big in analytics. Like
I love the analytics. I'm almost addicted to the analytics. Like,
Yeah, I feel like I'm
saying
starting to really
Brandon
almost
always
be
says
obsessed
that's where
with
you
it.
need to, like, that's where you learn how to grow, right?
Yeah.
what he
that's where
always
you
told me,
figure it out, right?
Yeah.
It's like who's sharing what, who's interacting with what. It's like I just did
Yeah.
a post a couple days ago, and I was drinking tea, and then I like looked like Thomas Shelby, and I kind of like just like rolled with that.
Yeah.
And I'm like talking about Peaky Blinders, and like sometimes I literally just make a post and I'm writing what's on my mind.
Yep.
And I put that like just as authentically as possible into words, and then like from there, I'll share that, and then I see like those are normally the ones that work the best when I actually put some thought, and I just start like almost ranting on a post.
Yeah.
But the funny part is like, so I was looking at the analytics from that post. There's 900 impressions on the post right now. There was 300 clicks.
Wow.
And then 30 likes. So I'm like, okay,
That's
there's
awesome.
300 people that clicked it to read it.
Yeah.
Right.
But then there was actually, so 10% of those people actually liked it enough to hit a button on the screen
Yes.
to say like, I liked it. And I'm like, so that's interesting. Like, I like trying to like figure that stuff out.
Then
I
you know where to
get
go.
right
It's
into
like,
it.
okay, so these videos aren't working as well.
Yeah.
Like you have 10 different styles. So then you can look at the analytics and say,
Yeah.
anyway,
Same with
I
the
never did that
YouTube. Same with the
before.
YouTube and like the click-through rate. Like I'm actually so addicted. I was saying this to a group of people yesterday. I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I check is my YouTube studio. That's the very first thing I check on my phone. I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm not looking at because it doesn't want anything from me. So that's nice to check.
Yeah.
And then I also just kind of like open it and I'm like, seeing how things performed overnight. And then I'm like, how's the click-through rate on that last video I did?
Yes.
I'm like, okay, it's still high. And I don't know why that is, but like it's like I almost enjoy it more than making the content.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, you got to dive into that because that like, and then I look back and like, okay, so that's what I said earlier. Like this video, so I should do more of this, more of this style of
Right.
video. So it's cool. So you wanted to be into design, right?
I did. Yeah.
Now, and you have one of your clients is a clothing company, Lord, and so that is
Yes.
super cool.
Nice.
So you get to
Exactly.
kind of that
Yeah.
uptown there. So that is awesome. So you must love that.
Oh, I
That's
do.
right up your alley.
It really is, and that's where I noticed like I literally thrive in that space because it's like I love clothes. I love to know, like I just love fashion and style and whatnot. So being able to create their content and run their social media, it just comes almost naturally. There's always more learning that you need to do.
Right.
I'm constantly working with the owner to make sure that I'm meeting her goals and expectations, obviously, but I just find it's just so fun and it doesn't feel like work to me.
No, that's
That's the key.
is, man.
That's the key right there. Well, like so what you just said, it doesn't feel like work to you.
Yeah.
It's like
That's the
where
key
you
to everything.
That's where you can
Yeah.
excel in life. When you find something that doesn't feel like work to you, that would be exhausting for most people. I was just reading Atomic Habits, and like that was one thing that it said. It's like the Goldilocks rule. Find the spot where most people find a lot of difficulty, but you find easy. And there's a lot of potential to happen in there. And that's super cool that you said that. That you don't find it like work, because I don't even mind. Like, I find mine like work. Like, even just managing my social media. I'm like,
Emma's just happy she gets to hang out in coffee shops every day.
I know. I'm always at a coffee shop.
At a coffee shop every day.
And then you don't drink coffee.
I don't. I drink matcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's caffeine in that, right?
There is, but it's more of like a natural caffeine. It doesn't give you that crash that coffee does.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
Once the crash gets you, I'm like,
terrible.
I'm ready for bed.
Right. As soon as I eat, I'm ready for bed. So I have to watch that. I have to watch when I eat.
I don't drink coffee in the mornings anymore.
No?
Like, this is today. It's about lunchtime now. So, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Because if I have it in the morning, I'm done. I'm like, I need a nap by like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
You're not supposed to drink it first thing in the morning. Actually, Andrew Huberman talks about this on his podcast, talking about how you should wait an hour until you wake up, so that, like, I think it's your adrenals or there's something that like gets going in your mind or in your brain. There's certain chemicals that like release slowly. It's oxytocin or adrenals or something along those lines. Yeah. Anyway, if you spike them too early, then that's when you do have the crash. So I've been doing the same thing.
It's way
like you're
better.
saying. I just wait till after a workout. And then I have my coffee afterwards, which is like the coolest part, because I'm like, the workout's done. Now I feel great. And I'm like, I'm going to go feel even better with a coffee. And then it's just like, it's like hitting one of those speed bumps on like Mario Kart. You're like, boom,
exactly.
Flying.
Man, today was the first day back to the gym since I had surgery 3 weeks ago. Like, to the gym, but like in my routine at like 5:30, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, you were up early.
Man, to get up early and
feels so good.
Like, I was going there for the past couple weeks, just get in the pool at like 9, 10 o'clock. I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Time you get home, it's like 11. Yeah. Days gone by. But I went yesterday to Afterburn and met with Danielle Knox. And she owns the Clean Fork. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
Yeah.
It's like a clean eating spot?
Clean eating. She does personal training, all that. Anyway, I went there and met her yesterday, and she's like, Evan, you just need to start with the basics. I know this sounds funny. I was like, no, just tell me what to do. So I'm like literally starting with the basics, trying to build the muscles back up.
Like, and like walking on a treadmill.
Like all about body mechanics and stuff like that. So she's putting me on these programs for the next couple months. So like, it's awesome to start, because most people just kind of sit around after surgery and then things get screwed up, right?
Oh,
it's an excuse to sit around. So anyway, that's what happened yesterday. It was awesome. So kind of makes me feel good. And that was
this morning too, wasn't it?
I went myself this morning, but she had told me,
that was
like,
yesterday.
she gave me a plan, but I did that yesterday.
Nice.
And man, like, since I got out of the surgery, and I'll tell you, once you lose something, and like you're in pain all the time, or you lose something, and then you get it back, it just changes everything.
Absolutely,
I'm like,
man.
Oh my God. Like,
I had it going on with my collarbone.
I'm eating way better. I'm down weight. Like, it's just, you got to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Because you go through a little bit of a period of like depression when you're in like that, where it's like, you're not sure, where you're almost convinced like, oh, this is the way it's going to be forever. I know that's the way my brain worked. When I broke my collarbone, I was like, oh, I'm going to be like a gimp forever. Yeah. And like, I was walking around in a sling, and I was like, barely able to get dressed. Everything was slow, and I just felt vulnerable as could be everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And it's not a good feeling.
No.
And but your body bounces back so quick. The human body is so impressive. It's so impressive.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. Emma, I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
So when you're dealing with clients about the marketing, do you ever have clients that, let's say, they want you to do their marketing, but they want to have the final say? They're like, don't post any, like, I want to hit the post or don't post button. Do you have clients like that? Or is that something maybe that you'll, in your business, go, maybe we shouldn't work together?
Yeah, so it's definitely something where you have to pick and choose, who you want to work with, basically, because there definitely is clients like that. I don't have any clients like that right now. But I do always,
for the best.
Yes, exactly. Because at the end of the day, I want my clients to just trust me and trust that I'm going to run their social media in a certain way. And
at first, when she first started working for me, I was like, she'd send me everything. Is this okay? Is this okay? Right. I was like, just do it.
Yes.
Like, you know what you're doing. I don't need to see it. Just
like
post.
That.
Just do you.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. I don't want to even look at it. Every post, she was like, can you review this? And some people will want that, and that's totally fine. It's their business, right?
And it's probably good starting off to do that. To like,
of course, like the first month. The first month, I always sent everything to my clients and was like, okay, this is what I think will do good, or this is what I have created for this following week so I can go and schedule it. But I always do make sure I have their approval in some sense, obviously. But I do really respect the clients that just trust me, and
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just
absolutely
trusting that I'm going to promote their stuff the way that it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, it's awesome. Your stuff's wicked. I'm happy.
Thank you. It's a constant learning curve. Like you're never going to.
If you're not learning, you're dying. You got to keep going. It's the same as the saying. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Every day you learn something new. Like it's
100%. And that's the nice thing about business too, is like the more that you like improve yourself, the better that you're going to be like at business all around.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about business that I love.
Yeah.
Is that, and I'm just kind of like realizing this now. Like I thought business was like a separate thing from life. Where I'm like, okay, I have my life and then I have business. But it's like, no, this is all one. It's all symbiotic. It all works together, because if your life is messed up, if you have things going on in your life, that bleeds over into business. Or if your business is bad, that bleeds over into life. So then I'm like, oh, the way to get better at business is to get my life better, get me sorted out, get my mentality sorted out, get my physique sorted out.
It all starts with you.
It all starts with
really
you.
does.
Absolutely.
I just said this to Christina, my wife, the other night. Upstairs, I was like, look, if everyone says, like kids first, family first, whatever.
Yeah.
And fair point, for sure.
Yeah.
But I said this to Christina. I go, look, if I look after myself first and keep myself healthy, in check, and keep everything looked after, I'm going to be a better husband and a better father.
100%.
If I don't put myself first, I'm not going to be as good of a dad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be as good of a husband. So it all revolves. Everything, you got to look after you. And everything's all under one roof.
Exactly.
Business, life, everything.
And even what you were saying before about getting your routine back, to have that routine, to know that you're getting up at 5, 6 in the morning every day, you're taking care of yourself, you're having that time for yourself before your chaotic day starts. It's like the little things like that are important.
So important.
Yeah.
So important.
For
This
anyone,
entire
you just
month.
started doing the gym first thing in the morning,
Yeah,
right?
I was never a morning working out person. Besides in the military, here's the thing: is the only time, and the reason that I resented it so much is because the only other time that I worked out in the mornings was when I was forced to, and I didn't like that, and I almost rebelled against it. All of my inner being rebelled against it for so long, because as soon as I wasn't in the military and didn't have to, I was like, I'll work out when I want. And it was kind of this like, it was like I hated structure so much for a little bit, and then I was like, I forgot how much I needed it.
Everybody
So now when
needs
I work out in
structure.
the morning, I feel so much better. I've had like consistent a month of like feeling great, where I'm like, I haven't even had a day where I feel like I wake up feeling kind of shitty sometimes.
Yeah,
And I wake
but
up
once you
feeling
go to the gym-
exhausted, and then you get to the gym and all goes away.
For anyone who doesn't go to the gym in the morning, if you have that option, I'll tell you, it's the best. It's hard to get up and get there, but once you get there, your phone's not ringing.
Yeah.
Nobody's texting you. There's no emails. There's no crap coming through or bothering you.
Yeah.
I can go sit in the steam room for like 30 minutes and 30 hours. You imagine? Jesus, you'd be friggin'.
Do you need one of those IVs after?
yeah. Jeez. Yeah. But like, you don't have to worry about your phone going. I'm like, I'd be sitting there in the middle of the day. I'm like, frig, how many missed calls do I got? How many texts did I miss? You just can't enjoy it. So if you can get there in the morning.
100%, man. It's so good. And then, like you said, spending that time on yourself before, because when your day starts in business, a lot of your day revolves around serving other people's needs.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's excellent. But if you get into a cycle of waking up and serving other people's needs, and then you try to deal with yourself at the end of the day when you're absolutely exhausted, it starts to become extremely difficult to take care of yourself. It goes right back to what you were just saying. If you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be there for the people around you, for your family, for your wife, for your kids. So it's like that all just actually kind of like intertwined really well with what we were just saying. That's a full circle. That was a really cool full circle right there.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
it
That's
was,
really what
yeah.
this is all about. We just talk about whatever.
No, but this is good though.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So this is good. I'm glad you came on today. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll have to do it again in like a couple months or something to see like how your things are going in St. John for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to Dominican next week.
I leave Tuesday.
Nice.
So,
How long are you going there for?
9 days. Yeah.
9 days.
Nice.
9 days.
Nice.
That's wicked.
Dominican,
Good
nice.
for you.
That's another pro to having like your own business
You
as
can
well.
work from there,
You
yeah.
can work from anywhere. Obviously, there's clients that you need to show up for and, you know, have expectations from you. But as long as it's up to you to manage your time and make sure you get everything done before you go.
Before you go,
especially
right?
in the world we live in now, where everything's digital.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're doing print marketing for people. Like,
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, even if you were, you could send it to a shop and have it done. Like, but everything
Yeah.
can be done from your phone, your laptop. You can do Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally like work almost anywhere in the world right now. That's the
Exactly.
crazy opportunity with the internet.
Yeah.
People like make excuses on like, oh, you don't know the town I'm from. There's not many people. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you could have clients all over the world. Like, if
Right.
somebody from the Dominican
Yeah.
wants to use you,
Right.
then like you could like meet a new client down
Can you
there. Like, you
imagine?
never
That'd
know.
be
Exactly.
wicked.
I know.
That's why I say when we go to EXP Con there, Canada in May.
I think May. Yeah.
May. So
Yeah, May,
you'll
yeah.
probably meet some clients
Yeah.
there, 100%, and they could be from Texas or
Yeah. That's what it's all about,
BC
though,
or
is just
whatever,
getting
right?
out there and meeting
So-
people.
But yeah, you got to do it. So
Yeah.
no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We should wrap it up because you got an appointment with Lorden.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Okay.
do.
That makes sense. Yep.
So yeah, no,
right.
thanks
Right
for
on.
coming
Okay.
on, Em.
Thanks
Good
for
to see you,
having me.
Brandon.
Good to see you too,
Again.
man.
Love the hat.
Emma, thank you very much. That was awesome.
I
Yeah,
like
nice
the
hat,
hat, buddy.
Evan. Nice hat.
You like that?
They look
Not
Yeah,
bad,
it
eh?
kind of matches the logo
Oh
back
yeah,
here,
I know
eh?
you thought. Yeah,
Kind of
we
matches
got
the
it everywhere.
logo.